Thank you very much for the introduction. I'm terribly sorry I caught a cold and my voice, it's not the perfect one. But I won't keep you long. First of all, well, the topic that I was requested is the future of the industry. For the moment, after this lovely presentation, I would say that I was thinking more of the future of me, and I'm ready to move to Riga. Because it's beautiful, because yeah, I really like it. I've been here before, and I really like this kind of beauty and calm and open spaces and nature and everything, and the speed of internet that connects us. And this will get me back to the issue of what's the future of the industry. I was thinking about that. I'm not a clairvoyant, and I have no clue. So then what can one do today when has a question and doesn't know the answer? I pick up my iPhone and I said, "Hey Siri, what's the future of the film industry?" And Siri get back with a number of links, of course, that were dealing about with articles from all over the internet, with this and that, saying opinions of people of what it will be in like 10 years times, what's the changes, what's the challenges. And some of them were very pessimistic, some of them were very optimistic. And I think that, yeah, the right answer is somewhere in the middle. And actually, as I'm more an art house film producer and I'm more into this, I think for me more important, or the main issue is not really the future of the industry, but the future of the art and craft of filmmaking. Because industry will go with the flow. Industry will go with will adapt, and it will go with the technology, and it will be what it will be, and it will stay. There is this permanent dispute between the determinists and the instrumentalists. Is technology determining the future of the society, or it's technology an instrument for us moving ahead? And the dispute is going on for hundreds of years, and it started with the Industrial Revolution. And again, here, the truth is somewhere in between. Technology is dragging us, but in the same time, it's us that are using the best of it in order to progress. And it's much more than anything our creativity that it's moving the things around by using as an extension of our body, of our mind, the technology. That's what I believe. Some people are saying that, no, internet is grabbing us completely nowadays. The artificial intelligence is trying to replace our creative minds, and little by little it's cutting. That's the apocalyptic, that's the genre films scenario. From my perspective, I was looking on different media to see how the digital era is transforming things. And when I hear people saying, oh, the theatrical will disappear, it's over, film will be only streaming, and that's all. Are by any chance the books, the physical books, disappearing? No. And there is a lot of them on internet, and we are reading a lot on internet, but still we are reading physical books, and still we want to touch a book. And how many books we have in a Kindle, and how many information we get from the internet. Sometimes it's much more peaceful and much more in-depth experience to get and to read properly on paper. I can bet that many of you are still printing some of the scripts that you want to go in depth with, not just reading, but making notes and this and that, you are still doing this, I can bet. And of course, I care about the trees, and I want to save the planet as well as everybody, but still, paper is paper, and it will stay for long. Also, when I'm looking into theater or opera, some people thought that the moment that the cinema will take over, they will disappear. Are they disappearing? No. Music. We are listening to music by far even much more than we are watching film streaming. We are listening on virtual means the music. And does it mean that we don't go to concerts anymore? Not at all. So I think that what's happening, it's in fact that everything is transforming. Everything is getting on a different mindset, and we have to take care of the attention span that we can follow nowadays, and to all these elements that are making the digital experience versus the actual in the theater experience. What I wanna say about this is that when we are just us with a screen and with all the pop-ups, our attention span is much smaller. And the way the brains are functioning is that memories are fixing by letting them stay. So you accumulate an information, it has to stay in your hippocamp for quite some time in order to be fixed and then to move to the cortex. That's how the memories are getting there. The moment that we are invaded by informations, so we get 5 minutes of this thing, and then we move to 5 minutes to the other thing, and we read just a code for this thing, and we just watch a scene from the other thing. These memories and these informations are getting into our brains, but they are getting out as quick as they came, and we don't have memories anymore. So what I think that the actual theatrical experience is doing and will continue to do is to fix memories, to allow us to go to an in-depth experience and very particular immersing into that experience. Then, of course, how do you do to arrive to this? How do you convince the audience, the younger generation? I was reading the other day another article saying that if you ask a 20, 25 years old regular young person from the States, they will say that, no, we are not going to the movies. We are not interested in that. Well, we are watching movies, but on our iPhones, on our tablets, on less and less on TV. But we don't go to the movies. How can we deal with that? I think that with that, the only way, what I see for the moment, it's that we reconstruct the theatrical experience as an event. And that's how the theater survived, because the theater show, it's a unique experience. The exhibition of films in a regular program, I think, will go lower and lower. And the only chance for the kind of films that I'm making, and we are talking about films that are coming from an author-driven culture, or films that are coming from low circulation languages, territories, their only chance is to be seen as unique products and be positioned in festivals and curated. Curating, it's the other key word for the future, and I think that this will be also the future of it, like even on platforms, because when you go on a platform like Netflix and you have tons, loads, millions of choices, how do you get to see a Romanian film? It's either that it is somehow curated, either that this film has traveled before, either that it's a better link to other cultures and to other people, and then it goes into your radar somehow. So but it needs to be direct. It needs to be recommended. We are following recommendations. We are following facts. We are following informations. So we have to be all the time in the spotlight. And how long can we be in this ocean of offers of films? How long we can be in the spotlight, God knows. And the other thing that I think that technology can bring, and what it will be the future of the industry as well in the theatrical experience, I think it's VR. And I have no clue where we will be in 10 years from now and how it will be, this experience. But I think that this will grow immensely, and this will take over part of the business the way we used to know it. On the other hand, so we are talking here about the changes in the mindset that technology brought to the younger generations, and the downsides of it for our, let's say, old-fashioned culture or more conservative type of culture. But when we think about the benefit of the technology, we go back to another issue that I think it's amazingly important: the heritage, how we preserve and how we can have access today to any film from Eisenstein to Tarkovsky to whatever contemporary film that traveled a little bit in festivals, and we have again a wide option to see these films, to rely on them, to refer to them, and to have them at hand. It's true in the same time that it's very difficult to say, because the life of a product of today versus the life of a product of 50 years ago, a film product I'm talking now, it's much shorter and much more dangerous in terms of survival. Because the amount of films of 50 years ago versus the amount of films of nowadays, it's unbelievable higher today. So how can we preserve the heritage, the contemporary heritage? How we can do this? And here we go back to the curatoriat and to the way some dedicated platforms or virtual libraries or other kind of stocking the films and keep talking about them is doing. So how the technology is helping us with that. And I hope that we will survive, and the films that I've made will survive. Because when I'm talking, I'm looking into my credits, and I have like 60 titles now that I was involved in, and people are referring like at 3, 4, 5 maybe out of these titles nowadays outside Romania. And that's already an achievement, because after 10 years, people are not remembering. But these achievements are graced to the fact that, indeed, these films have traveled, these films are co-productions, these films are films that are somehow belong nowadays in the common culture. And here I'm going again to a controversy that industry is going efficient. That's the rule. And the Taylorist theory, it's still applying to any kind of industry. And internet, it's part of that, and the whole digital consuming, it's part of that. So it should be efficient, and it should be consumed fast, and it should be fast, fast, fast. How can we counterbalance this consuming that is affecting, again, our capacity to remember, to accumulate information, to have things that are staying? I think the only way that we can balance this efficiency, it's by consistency. And it's about consistency and creativity. And the other key word for the future of my art and craft that I see, it's cooperation. And I think that that's how I built my career, by collaborating, by getting into different cultures and different contexts and working together and discovering together and delivering things that are belonging to a wider culture than just the original one. I'm looking at Gary Tuck here in front of me, and 20 years ago we were working in Romania, in Bucharest, on, was it BBC or Channel 4, Gary? ITV, mini-series for TV, a British one then, shot partly in Romania. 20 years later, I am here as a producer, as an independent producer, with many, many, many international co-productions. Gary is here as one of the most respected producers, executive producers in Lithuania, with achievements like Chernobyl series. And we would have never guessed 20 years ago that where we will be nowadays and how fast we will move, and that we will still be in contact and still communicate on a kind of regular basis through the social media or whatever other newsletters and stuff that are going on. So I think that to keep our art and craft, to keep our humanity, the only way to do it is by cooperation and creativity. That's my 2 points. Thank you.